24-02157. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Ruby Howell. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Lee.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Ruby Lobain Howell.
And ma'am, you are Ruby Howell, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is a time set for this was set for jury trial today. Ms. Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that this is going to be a plea to the charge with a sentencing agreement to no further upfront jail.
And is that a fair statement, Mr. Lee?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
So that's a Killebrew, no upfront jail.
That's that correct.
And that's your understanding, Ms. Howell?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Lee, may I inquire of your client of her advice of rights on her misdemeanor plea?
Yes, you may, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Howell, you understand that the ultimate penalty in this matter is 93 days and or $500. There is an agreement between the lawyers that you Killebrew of no jail time. If I was not to follow that agreement, you'd have the opportunity to withdraw your plea. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention. So you have the following rights in this misdemeanor plea, and I'll walk you through those rights. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial, to question any witnesses that are brought against you. You're represented today by Attorney John Lee, and he'd be present to cross-examine any witnesses or contest any charges brought against you by the people of the state of Michigan. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
You have the right to have the court ordering witnesses appear in your defense, to remain silent during the trial, not to have that silence used against you, and to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim the plea was a result of any promises other than what we've stated on the record, or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. You'll also be giving up the right to appeal anything from trial. Since you won't be having a trial, you'll be pleading guilty instead. Is it your wish today to waive your jury trial rights and plead guilty to the assault or assault and battery?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to have you raise your right hand as best you can. You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to June 3rd of 2024 at the offense location of 2001 West Saginaw Street in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you present on June 3rd, 2024 at 2001 West Saginaw Street, city of Lansing, Ingham County on that date at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And do you know Angela Jernigan?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know Angela Jernigan?
We had a car accident before.
Okay. And so in order to plead guilty to this offense, you're going to have to indicate that you did some type of offensive touching or an attempt touching to Angela Jernigan on June 3rd, 2024 that was not in self-defense. What did you do in order to put her in fear of an attempted touching or attempted offensive touching or offensive touching?
I slapped her.
Okay. And that was not done in self-defense?
No.
Okay. And that was not done by accident?
No.
Anything towards the factual basis, Ms. Wilson?
Briefly, Your Honor, Ms. Howell, you would agree that Ms. Jernigan did not want to be slapped, is that correct? Yeah. No, she didn't want to be slapped. Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
Anything towards the factual basis, Mr. Lee?
Nothing further, thank you.
I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Yeah, I'm going to refer this to probation. So, Ms. Howell, go down to the 5th floor, and they'll either set up an appointment or see you then. They're going to do a report for me, and then we'll see what options are available to us at sentencing. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
All right. So the sentence is set for
February 11th at 1:30.
February 11th at 1:30. You should get notifications from my court officer. And they'll prepare a report for me concerning what options are available. Anything else on the record in 2402-157, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people.
Mr. Lee?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Haug, we'll see you on that February 11th date. Thank you for your appearance today. Gonna find out who's on the iPhone, Ms. Wilson. I don't know.
Okay.
Did you have anything else? Yep, Mr.
Had Harper, but Mr. Raleigh must have stepped out to talk to someone.
All right. So we have Harper, Cochran, and let me find out who's on the iPhone. On the iPhone, would you please identify yourself? You were just let in the Zoom courtroom. Still connecting to iPhone. So on the iPhone, you'll have to unmute. And I can see you, Mr. Harper. This is actually monikered of iPhone. You'll have to unmute and identify yourself. Mr. Raleigh, I don't know who that's on the iPhone, but
Hello.
what's your name, sir?
Jesus Ramirez. I don't know how to use this.
Okay, and you're here for your 9:30, Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Okay, so it says Jesus Ramirez Giles, is that right, or Giles?
Yes.
Okay. All right, you're in the right place, sir. Just stand by.
Okay.
All right, so we're on the record, and Mr. Harper, we'll call your case. We're on the record in docket 2403-297. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Wolf Harper. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Wilson.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people, Your Honor, requesting permission to practice under court.
And that's granted, Mr. Shive. And then Mr. Raleigh.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Mr. Harper.
And then, sir, you are Wolf Harper, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Harper?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for pretrial in the matter. Mr. Shive, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we are going to dismiss this for compliance.
Is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Harper, based on the people's motion to dismiss without prejudice, I'm going to dismiss without prejudice. Means the people could reissue if they choose to, but realistically, this case is dismissed today. This is on a ticket, I believe, so. All right, so this case is dismissed. Anything else for the record in 2403-297, Mr. Shive?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Harper, you should be all set today, okay?
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
And then we're ready on Sanders.
Ajane.
Yeah, Ajane.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 2403-467. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Ajane Sanders. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Shive.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people.
Mr. Raleigh.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Ms. Sanders.
And ma'am, you are Ajane Sanders, is that correct?
Ajane.
Ajane, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Shive, how we proceed?
Requesting a final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we will set for final pretrial
January 7th.
on January 7th at 8:30. So we've set for final pretrial on January 7th at 8:30. That'll be live in person on the sixth floor of City Hall of Lansing. Anything else for the record in 2403-467, Mr. Scheid?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Rowley?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sanders, we'll see you on January 7th at 8:30. All right, ma'am?
I'll have a notice for you.
Anybody else, Mr. Rowley, or did you have to meet with anybody?
I do need to speak with Mr. Ramirez if I can.
Okay, so Mr. Ramirez, I'm gonna place you in a breakout room with your public defender, Mr.
Okay.
Rowley.
Okay.
Make sure I have got these breakout rooms up. So, Mr. Ramirez, you should get a prompt to go to room 1 on your screen, and then I'll place Mr. Rowley in the same room when he joins us, all right?
All right.
Is that Richard Rewards?
Yes.
Do you wanna, are you ready? Yeah. And then we're ready on Richard Rewards.
Those are 2 files.
Yes.
Right, so we're on the record in 20-03284 and 20-03290. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Rosetta Richard Rewards. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Scheid.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people.
Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender John Lee appearing on behalf of Rosetta Richard Brewers.
And ma'am, you are Rosetta Richard Rewards, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial on both of these files. Mr. Shive, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're going to defer to the defense.
All right, Mr. Lee.
Your Honor, Miss Richard Brewers reports that the dogs were euthanized some years back, and so we're trying to find records that would confirm that she is in the process. She's begun a search for records. She's going to be contacting Ingham County Animal Control directly soon. My understanding is that the prosecutor has also emailed Ingham County Animal Control. So we're awaiting the results of these record searches and think that one more adjournment should do the trick.
All right, and this is the first, this would be, and that's in regards to finding that you're no longer in possession of Bear, which was a Shih Tzu, and Ziggy, which was a pit bull. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Scheid?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. So we will adjourn. For documentation. And we'll set for,
Is January 7th?
that's about a month, January 7th, 30 days.
At 9.
January 7th at 9 o'clock. Ms. Richard Rewards, any documentation you're able to forward to Mr. Lee, and so that he can share that with the prosecutor's office. That would, I mean, the sooner you're able to do that, the sooner that this is, at least we'll see if we have to be here, okay? Anything else for the record in either of these files, 20-03284 or 20-03290, Mr. Scheid?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee,
Nothing further.
you should be all set, ma'am. We'll see you on that January 7th day.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Cochran, we'll call your cases. Okay. So we're on the record in docket 2402-964 and 2402-965. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Charles Cochran. Your appearances for the record, Ms. Wilson.
Abigail Wilson for the people.
And sir, you are Charles Cochran, is that correct?
Yeah, Cochran, but yeah.
Oh, Charles Cochran, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Cochran?
Yes, sir.
And I have it on our computer that you previously denied the public defender's office, and you are representing yourself. Is that correct?
I don't know. They told me that as long as I had documentation that the dogs were licensed this time, I should be okay.
Mostly that, yeah, that probably came from the adjournment from the first pretrial.
Yeah,
Did you want so you are not represented today, is that correct?
Correct. But
Okay.
I do have
Did you want to see any documentation?
documentation.
Mr.
Or
Cochran,
I
do
have
you
numbers
have,
I can give you. Do I have what, ma'am?
do you have the license?
Yes, I have both. I have numbers for both of them.
So you're
That's fine.
did you want to place those numbers on the record, and then with that understanding, both files will be dismissed?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and place both numbers on the record.
Okay. Ruby is the female dog. She is her number is 241-06056. And then
All right,
Cam.
that's the golden retriever.
Yes.
All right. And then the second dog?
He's his name is Cam. He's the pit bull cross. He is 241-06058.
All right. So does that suffice, Ms. Wilson?
It does, Your Honor. The people move to dismiss.
Okay. So at this time, Mr. Cochran, the people would move to dismiss for compliance purposes.
Okay.
Dismiss. So, Mr. Cochran, as to file 2402-964 and 2402-965, both are dismissed for compliance purposes, and you should be all set today. All right, sir?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.
Mr. Brown. Oh, okay.
You will be here.
Gotcha. All right.
You said your client was Verdugo Perez? Okay, because there's an interpreter here for him.
Oh, there is.
Well, I requested one who's still here, but he got extradited to Arizona.
Should I tell her
Whatever
to?
charge, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
So.
That's
I
good to
don't-
know.
I don't
I'll go
know.
let her know that he's not
Yeah,
gonna be here.
Does
I guess
Mr. Ramirez need an
reset it
interpreter?
and I'll look at
She's
it.
only here for
Yeah,
the,
and if it's something that.
Okay, other guy. So I'll get
Gotcha.
her that.
Yeah. All right.
I figured it's fine.
All right, sounds good. Ron Verdugo Perez.
Verdugo Perez. And then Mr. Perez is not here.
That's correct,
what I
yeah.
garnered, but so we don't need the interpreter.
Correct.
So let's let the interpreter go.
Correct.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 24-03317. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Josu Verdugo Perez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record, Ms. Wilson?
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Attorney Zach Bono on behalf of the defendant.
That's Bonham.
Correct.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. I will indicate my understanding and then we'll go from there, and I'll let both parties make a record. It's my understanding Mr. Verdugo Perez, just overheard this, has been extradited out of state. And we did have a Spanish interpreter here. That Spanish interpreter has been let go. Ms. Wilson, how we proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think if we can request a reset so we can look into the extradition and continue negotiations, that would be appropriate.
Mr. Bonham.
That sounds right to me.
Okay. So we'll request an adjournment for obvious negotiations to continue. Do you know when he was extradited, Mr. Bonham?
Not the exact day, Your Honor, but I would
Okay.
say within the
Last
last 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. And he was extradited to Arizona.
Correct.
All right, so let's reschedule this out for negotiations to continue. What are we looking at?
30 days.
30 days?
January 7th at 9, please.
So we'll set it for January 7th at 9.
At 9.
At 9. Anything else for the record in 2403317, Ms. Wilson?
Not for the people.
Mr. Bonham?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we've reset it for January 7th at 9 o'clock, and you should get a notice from my court officer.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Assuming we can print.
We can print.
Wait. There we go.
We just gotta push all the buttons.
I don't know. It's sometimes we push all the buttons and the printer doesn't want to print. So
Now,
I was told to tell you that it was your fault the printer didn't work last
yeah,
week.
the last week the printer wasn't working. We just blamed you.
Figures.
Well, you weren't here, so I mean that's the easiest person to blame.
we can blame me when I am here, so I get
We were
I
blaming.
got blamed for a while for the one
Yeah,
time I
yeah.
tried to use it.
If you're not here,
that thing so bad at me.
if you're not here,
I
you
know.
know,
And then Friday.
and then Megan's not. If Megan's not here, she gets blamed.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, no, because on Friday Megan won't be here and Nathaniel will be here. I'll still get blamed.
yeah, we might blame Megan just to even it out. Just to.
Your ears
Because
start ringing, Meg.
yeah, I mean, because Megan's not here to defend herself. It's the best time.
Mhm.
Mr. Raleigh, did you want to go on Mr. Ramirez Giles?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in 24-03477. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Jesus Ramirez Giles. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mr. Shine.
Jacob Shive on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
Jacob Raleigh on behalf of Mr. Ramirez Giles.
And sir, you are Jesus Ramirez Giles, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Ramirez Giles?
Yeah.
Thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Shive, how we proceed?
Jacob Shive on behalf requesting a final pretrial.
Is that a fair statement, Mr. Raleigh?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I take appearances
You
before?
did.
Yeah,
Okay.
you sure did.
Okay, I was just, sometimes I don't. So I mean,
No, you
that
did
can happen.
That was me, 100% me.
All right, so we'll set for final pretrial. For
January 7th at 8:30.
January 7th at 8:30.
It's Tuesday, things are messing with me.
All right, so Mr. Ramirez Giles will be live on the 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing on January 7th at 8:30. All right, sir?
Okay, you said sixth floor.
Yep, 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing.
Okay.
Anything else for the record in 24-03477, Mr. Shine?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ramirez Giles, you'll get notice of that sent to the Trapper's Cove address. Is that still a good address for you, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll see you on January 7th. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance today.
Okay.
You're all set, sir.
All set?
You're all set.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does Mr. Lee have, or Mr. Raleigh have his swing?
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Raleigh does, yeah.
Did you want to call that? It's just weird to have, usually it's like 11:45.
I know.
So it's like, you know, it's like,
Nobody, just-
no,
just everybody
well,
go.
you know. All right, so we're on the record in 24-03282. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Candace Swain. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Are you Miss Swain? You can come up here. Miss Wilson,
Abigail Wilson for the people.
Mr. Raleigh,
Jacob Rowley on behalf of Ms. Swain.
and ma'am, you are Candace Swain, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for, I have a pretrial and a PA 53 contempt violation. Miss Wilson, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have my witness here for the PA 53 contempt violation. The people are ready to proceed on that. As to the pretrial, I think we're gonna need a final pretrial.
All right. Mr. Raleigh,
That is correct, Your Honor.
all right. So do you, so we'll go forward on the PA 53?
Yeah.
All right. All right, and then we'll address the final pretrial on the, right after this.
Okay.
Because that'll be the same. All right, so in regards to the PA 53 violation, Ms. Wilson, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The
Yes,
people
Your Honor.
called Dina McLean.
All right, Ms. McLean, I'm gonna have you stand right in front of me, and I'm gonna have you spell and state your first name and last name for the record.
My first name is Dina, Deena, McLean, McClain.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Right, you can have a seat right in the witness chair. The recording doesn't amplify your voice. It just goes to the court recorder's ears. So please amplify to the back of the room as best you can, all right,
Yes,
ma'am?
sir.
All right. Ms. Wilson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McLean, I'd like to bring your attention back to October 31st of 2024. Do you recall talking to police on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that in reference to?
To an assault and malicious destruction to my property.
So was that in relation to the actual assault, or was there something else going on?
The assault.
The assault. Just one second. So in regards to the 31st, you said that was the assault on the 31st or was it prior to that?
31st.
On the 31st? Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
And I'm just bringing the police report from this incident.
All right.
So Ms. McLean, if you can just read this silently to yourself.
Is this what this is concerning?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So now having reviewed that, was the October 31st date in fact the assault date?
No,
No, what was it?
there was someone approaching my front yard and not leaving as I requested.
And who was that?
I'm not sure of her name.
Was it just one person?
Yes.
Okay. And did you have any familiarity with them before this date?
No.
No. And where do you reside?
At 1818 Hoyt Avenue.
And is that in the city of Lansing?
Yes, it is.
Ingham County?
Yes.
State of Michigan?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you said that there had been an assault as well, is that correct?
Yes.
And was that a couple days prior to
Yes,
this? Who did that involve?
Can't swing.
And who is Candace Swain to you?
My daughter.
Would you recognize her if you saw her today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see her here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
Can you point her out and describe something she's wearing?
She has braids in her hair and brown coat on.
All right, Your Honor, I'd request that the record reflect the identification.
Any objection to the witness identifying the defendant for purposes of the no contact order?
No, Your Honor.
Without objection, the witness has identified the defendant.
And was Ms. Swain at all involved in the incident from October 31st?
Yes.
And how was she involved in that?
She was pacing, she was in the driveway in the car while another person came in that front yard.
And when you say the driveway, is that the driveway of your residence?
Of her residence.
Of her residence, okay. Was she saying anything to you?
Candace or?
Yes.
No.
No, okay. I have nothing further at this time.
All right, Mr. Raleigh. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. McLean, on this October 31st date, is it true that your daughter Candace did not enter onto your property?
Is that the day of the assault? I mean, October 31st.
The date of the later.
She didn't enter onto my property, no.
Okay. Did she have direct contact with you at all on that day?
No, she did not.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Any redirect, Ms. Wilson?
Um,
I guess I'd like to know where her property lies in
Okay.
relation to
yeah.
her
So,
daughters.
you said that Candace was in her driveway, is that
Across the
correct?
street.
Across the street, and
Yes.
that's across the street from your address?
Yes.
Okay, now was she saying anything to this other individual?
They were in the car together and then that other individual came over into my yard.
Okay, and was she saying anything while she was pacing in her driveway?
No.
No, okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused, Ms. Wilson,
She may, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're excused, ma'am. Thank you for your appearance today. Any further witnesses from the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Do the people rest?
We do, Your Honor, thank you.
Any witnesses today from the defense?
Defense call Candace Swain, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Swain, you can come up here. Please state your name and spell your first name and last name for the record.
Candace Swain, CANDICE
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, go ahead and have a seat. Once again, the microphone just goes right to the court recorder. So please project to the back of your room. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
All right. And then Mr. Raleigh, you may proceed.
Ms. Swain, is it true that you were arraigned on a case involving your mother, where she's the alleged victim?
Yes, it is.
Were you given certain bond conditions, certain rules that you were to follow while the case is pending?
Yes,
And is it true that you were specifically permitted to reside across the street from your mother?
yes, it is.
Is it true, well, phrase it differently, on the date of October 31st, did you enter onto your mother's property at all?
No, I did not.
Did you have contact with your mother at all?
No,
Did you ask someone else to speak or have contact with your mother on your behalf?
no.
No further questions at this time.
All right. Ms. Wilson, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Swain, on that October 31st date, you had a friend with you, is that correct?
Correct.
And that friend went over to your mother's home?
Yes,
And the purpose of going over to your mother's home was what?
to look for my phone in her yard.
And did you ask your friend to do that?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor, I have nothing further.
Right. Anything else concerning this witness, Ms. Wilson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Raleigh.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your appearance, and you're excused. All right. Any further proofs, Mr. Raleigh?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Does the defense rest?
Yes, sir.
All right. Summation, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here today on a bond violation. Miss Swain's bond specifically states that she may go to Miss McLean's address once accompanied by a peace officer to remove her belongings. We have here today Miss Swain, in her own words, stating that she instructed her friend to go over to her mother's residence to retrieve properties. After she was arraigned, Miss McLean was at that property and saw this happening. I believe that this is in direct violation of the no contact order, as she did direct another individual to go onto the property that she was not permitted to be on without the express permission of the court and not with the instructions that are within the no contact violation. So I request that the court find that there's a violation.
Thank you. Mr. Rowley.
Your Honor, I'm not aware of anything in the bond conditions on Ms. Swain that prohibits a third party from going to that address. Certainly, she's not to have third party contact, but there's no evidence that she asked anyone to make contact or expected anyone to make direct contact with her mother. I think asking someone to go to the address to look for something outside is permitted, frankly, under the bond conditions, and there's no violation.
All right. I don't know what was said, Ms. Swain, concerning the bond conditions. Because going to the residence one time was not checked. And there is a note that you live across the street. There is a no contact order with both Dina McLean and Lisa Swain. And if I looked at the written pretrial release order, boxes A, 4A, 5A, and 5B are checked. Do not leave the state of Michigan is checked. Do not commit any crime while released is checked. Immediately notify this court in writing of a change of address is checked. Make reports to court agency is checked. Do not use alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substances checked. Do not possess or purchase a firearm is checked. Do not harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, stalk, threaten, or engage in other conduct that would place any of the following persons reasonable fear of bodily injury. Do not assault, harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, or threaten the following person, Dina McLean or Lisa Swain. Do not have or cause any third party to have any direct or indirect contact with the following persons. This condition also applies while the defendant is in custody, and that's Dina McLean and Lisa. And then check, do not enter the following specified premises, 1818 Hoyt Avenue, Lansing, Michigan. All right, so that's not an issue here of you personally, but indirect contact means that somebody does something at your behalf. If that wasn't clear before, it's clear now. All right, it's completely clear now. Even directing somebody to get a cell phone for you, which might be part of this, would be technically a probation violation, but I don't know if that was addressed. All right, it's addressed in the order. All right, so I think it's fair to fine you in violation of the no contact order, but it's also fair to you that you receive a warning today. Okay, you don't go to jail because as the lawyers will tell you, I take no contact very seriously. This is a little different because you live right across the street, which is a bad idea, okay? And I'll tell you, it's a bad idea for you, okay? It's not a bad idea for your mom. It's a bad idea for you because you're the one who's gonna take the brunt of it, okay? If your mom says that you're in indirect violation of the order, you've got to come in front of me with your attorney, and you're going to experience all this. And one time, I'm willing to say, all right, this was kind of a mistake. All right. Second time, you violated again, and I'm going to say, like, all right, it's not a mistake anymore. All right. Right now, we're looking at jail time. Okay. So, which is really unfair to you because you live across the street. Okay. So do whatever possible to avoid a violation, which means it looks like you're on board with a direct violation. You know, you can't be on the premises. You know, you can't speak to your mom or I think it's your sister, right? You can't talk to them. You've got to act, but there's no 2,000-foot order here, you know, because you live across the street. But you now know that your friends are an extension of you. So if your friends do something, they're going to have to come in and talk and say, and tell me, okay? Because I'm going to hold you responsible for their conduct on some level. Now, if you come and say, I didn't tell my friend to do that, and they come in and say they didn't tell to do that, I'll hold them responsible because they know this is kind of just, you know, I'm going to look at it as kind of a way to avoid contact. Okay. And you know that there's no indirect or direct contact. All right. But we're not going to put you in jail over it today. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to say, like, never avoid it at all costs, because next time I have jail time. All right. And I have it. But you live right across the street. And I don't know what was addressed at the arraignment by Judge Simmons, because Judge Simmons arraigned you. But you know that I'm the judge now, and so you've got to do everything you can to avoid any type of allegation of no contact or indirect or direct. Do you understand that now? All right. So I do find that you violated the PA 53 violation. I'm going to give you a warning. Okay, this is a warning today. So you know that similar conduct is going to be found in direct violation, mostly because the order says it. Okay, the written order says, do not have or cause any third party to have any direct or indirect contact with the following persons, and then it states Dina McLean, Lisa Swain, and the address. All right. So you're on notice. There's no gray area here, right? Anything concerning the factual basis or for the ruling, the favor, finding a violation of PA 53 and the warning, Ms. Wilson.
After the people.
Mr. Raleigh.
Oh, Your Honor.
All right. And then you've indicated that the pretrial will be a final pretrial. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor, and I would just request that the complaining witnesses be excused from that. This is their second appearance.
And that's Ms. McLean and Ms. Swain are both here.
They're both here, yes.
Mr. Raleigh.
I have no objection to that, Your Honor. I would, I guess, in supplement, note that my client lives in Holland. I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, I was thinking of a different case. I apologize. Okay. No, that won't be a problem. No.
Okay, so no objection to the witnesses not being here for final pretrial. And we'll set it for final pretrial on
January 7th at 8:30.
January 7th at 8:30. That'll be live in person on the 6th floor, just like we are today, Ms. Swain. And then we'll go from there. Anything else for the record in 24-03282, Ms. Wilson?
Half the people.
Mr. Raleigh.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Swain, you'll get notice from my court officer. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you.
Totally fine.